Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to this individual executive member decision. My name's Callum Wernham. I'm a Democratic and Electoral Services specialist. With me today, making the decision, that is Wayne Smith, who's the executive member for Planning and Enforcement. And from the officer side of things, we have Ian Church, who is a senior specialist within the Growth and Delivery team. And with that, I will hand straight over to Ian just to run us through the report quickly. So, Ian, over to you.
Thank you. So this is the Council's proposed response to the West Berkshire Minerals and Waste Plan. This is their proposed submission version. So just for clarity, this plan covers just the administrative area of West Berkshire. So the plan runs to 2037, and this is their final stage of consultation, having built some sort of previous rounds going back to 2014. So in terms of the plan itself and what's being proposed, from a minerals perspective, we're pleased to see that they're seeking to maintain their 7-year land bank of mineral supply, which is in accordance with government policy. And to help that supply, they're also proposing to allocate 2 sites for aggregate extraction, and they're at Cheveley and in Ufton Nervet. So neither of those are in proximity to Woking Borough, so we don't expect any adverse impacts from either of those sites. Then from a waste point of view, they're continuing to safeguard their existing waste management sites in West Berkshire, which are sufficient to meet their own waste needs. So in effect, all the waste that's arising in West Berkshire, they're able to be effectively self-sufficient, which again is supported through national policy. So we're continuing our engagement with West Berkshire through the duty to cooperate, and several statements of common ground are being prepared. So that not only helps the submission version of the West Berkshire plan, but also more importantly, it also helps the joint Central and Eastern Berkshire Minerals and Waste plan, which is also at a very advanced stage. And those statements of common ground will recognise that those movements of sharp sand and gravel in particular do move between the authorities, and that will be taken into consideration as part of those statements of common ground. The other recommendation notes around a previous holding objection that we lodged to an earlier version of their plan. We've since had various conversations with West Berkshire around the potential delivery issues at some of their earlier sites, and we're content that they've now been resolved. So again, the recommendation seeks to remove that holding objection. And then the final recommendation is noting that because this is at the final stage of their plan-making process and their public consultation, it may be necessary for us to participate in their examination process. And as a result, we're seeking delegated authority from the director and also from Wayne to ensure that if there is a need for us to submit any responses through that process, then we can do so in a timely manner. In terms of the sort of wider process, following this consultation, they're planning to submit the plan to the Secretary of State in the summer and then have the examination sort of later in 2021. But from our point of view, subject to this report being approved, there's a 5-day call-in period, but after that point then the response can be submitted formally as our final response to West Berkshire. And it'll be taken into consideration as part of their final phase of their plan making before submission. Wayne, do you have any particular questions or queries regarding the report?
No, it's a very good report, Ian, as usual. I'm happy with it.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you very much. In which case, I will go straight to the recommendation. For anyone watching, that is set out on agenda page 5. So I'm just going to quickly read it through, and then I'm going to ask Wayne for your verbal approval. So here we go. So the recommendation is that the executive member for Planning and Enforcement agrees that Woking Borough Council submits the comments contained in this report as this council's response to the West Berkshire District Council Mineral and Waste Local Plan proposed submission consultation November 2020. Notes the withdrawal of the holding objection set out in the Council's response to the earlier consultation and delegates any further submissions to the examination in public process to the Director of Place and Growth in consultation with the lead member for Planning and Enforcement. Wayne, are you happy with all of those recommendations?
Yep, happy to approve.
Brilliant. So as Ian mentioned earlier, subject to the usual 5-day call-in period, this decision will become live, and that is all there is for this meeting. So I will thank you both for attending, and I will now close the meeting.
Thanks very much, Callum. Thanks, Ian.
Thank you.